guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for new releases in May. Basically, I thought that April was really stacked and I kind of only had 3 new releases that I ran for, and it's just because those authors, Abby Jimenez, Emily Henry, and Jessa Hastings, having them all released in April truly was a moment for me. But I look back at it and I was like, it's just 3 of them. Literally on May 6th alone, there's been so many releases. There was My Friends, One Golden Summer. There was this book called My Name is Emilia. I don't know what it's called, but I'll put it here. There was Frida McFadden's new book, and there was another one called The Names or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's not even all of it. There's so many books on May 6th alone, and then every week in May, I'm probably going to be at the bookstore getting new releases. I know May 13th is Kenny Ryan's new book, and I just know the bookstore is going to be tired of seeing me in May. Starting with one that I was really excited for, My Friends by Fredrik Backman. This was literally just in the airport early. May 2nd, I was walking on the airport trying to get a snack. Forgot I was hungry. I just walked directly towards the books when I saw it, and I was just standing there like... But after seeing this, I realized that there were so many other releases out early too. One Golden Summer was there, Frida McFadden's new book was there, the other 2 books that I mentioned, they were just there on the shelf May 2nd, and the guy told me that he sold 5 of these before I bought this one. I was like, that is crazy, and I've been reading it since then. I've really been savoring this one, and I think I'm reading it slower because I'm also annotating every page. Literally, this is how page 7 looks. You don't have to read it if you don't want anything spoiled for you, but the whole page is basically annotated. Page 7 is just completely annotated, and that's just how a lot of the pages look, and I just have something that I need to reflect on each page, so I'm always underlining it and then literally just sitting staring at a wall thinking about it. It's been so good so far. His writing has been amazing. I'm gonna talk about this one more in a second because this is what we'll be reading in this vlog. But yesterday I went to Barnes, and it was actually the release date for this book and a bunch of other books, and I decided that I just wanted to go around browsing, see what else is coming out. Maybe there's more, because I just feel like there's so many new things. And again, I walked through Barnes and saw so many things that I want to put on my mental TBR. It's not good because I just did a huge book shopping. I shouldn't have been in there. While I was there, I saw the Barnes version of this, obviously, and maybe an unpopular opinion, but I really like these photos inside the cover more than sprayed edges. I don't know, I just love it. I do love the sprayed edges on this book though. It's really pretty, and it fits the cover so well, and this paperback, gorgeous. I like this blue version. The original cover is pink, I think. This blue version, really cute. I never buy physical copies of thrillers though. For some reason, I just don't feel the need to own them. Oh my gosh, I feel like this is the first time I'm seeing these little art things, and that's exactly how I picture them. I feel like in the past, I see the art and it just ruins what I have in my head. But this one, this is exactly what I thought they looked like. So I saw One Golden Summer, the Barnes edition, and the regular cover. The Barnes edition is just so beautiful. I've been seeing this book, Silver Elite, so much everywhere, and I was intrigued, but then I saw first in a series and I just shut that book and walk away. My mental TBR is overflowing. Half the time I'm just recording so I can remember what piqued my interest. Just going through yeah, I'm interested in this and that and this and that. All I'm doing here. I feel like browsing is good because after a lot of time pass, if I realize I'm still thinking about getting that book, I know for facts that I really want to read it. So going to browse first without buying anything, it's always a good thing. Okay, so I don't know if anyone remembers me always complaining about these buy one get one 50% off tables, because this specific location, well, first of all, a lot of the other Barnes & Noble locations in New York don't even have this table, period. But this specific location, Union Square, they have it, and they literally have not changed out the books in the entire 2 years that I lived here in New York. And now that I practically already moved, yeah, they finally did change it. I don't know who at Barnes is preying on my downfall. Some of the things on here look so good. One thing I will say though is that a lot of the books I have either already read, the ones that I'm interested in anyway, I've already read, or I already own. Like Summer Romance, I would have ran to that if I didn't own it. I already read it too, love it. And Conversation with Friends, I already know that I love that. Also The Guest and Mad Honey, I've read The Guest, I liked it. Mad Honey, I own it, but I haven't read it yet. But it's just like, okay, you have pretty good books on there now, and I'm happy you finally changed out the books, because I swear they've been one set of books there for 2 years. I wonder if they're gonna change it out regularly now that I'm gone. So even though I was just browsing, I did get 3 books. I got One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. I don't know what chokehold this author has on me, because I don't think I've ever well, I rated Every Summer After 5 stars, but I do look back on that book and how much I've read since then and how much my taste has changed, and I know that I probably wouldn't rate it 5 stars. It's the same way that I reread Love in Other Words, and that was originally a 5-star for me, and I think I brought it down to like a 4.5, and Every Summer After would probably be the same thing, maybe even less, I don't know. But that's the one that I rated the highest, and I think back on it, like, I probably wouldn't still rate it that highly. Meet Me at the Lake, that was actually the first book that I read by this author, and I was so conflicted when I was done reading that book, because I was just like, why do I feel like I love this and I also hated it? Like, I feel like I equally loved it so much and hated it so much, and it's because I really love the way she writes. But that story, specifically Meet Me by the Lake, that story is terrible. I actually hate that story so much. I don't know. But the writing was really good. Loved it. And then This Summer Would Be Different, I kind of had the same feelings, where I loved the writing but didn't really love the story, but it wasn't as bad as Meet Me by the Lake. I liked this story a little bit more, but it still just wasn't that great. And so why do I continue to buy I don't know what it is. I literally don't know what always pulls me in. One thing I will say is that this book is about the guy from Every Summer After, and I did like that one. That's the one that I rated the highest, so I'm like, maybe there's potential here. It's kind of funny that the only thing I know about this book is that Alice was in Great Big Beautiful Life, but Alice takes a photo. She's a photographer, and she took this photo, and Charlie ends up being in the photo, so I think she's gonna go like looking for the person in that photo. I just think it's funny that this is about a photo. Like, the photo is very important to the plot, and then this is about a painting. The painting is very important to the plot. They're both summery. It's just cool to me. This one is also signed, and she had a bunch of her other books that were signed too, because she was literally there the day before release day, so I think they had an event. So I was like, yeah, I'll get this one. The Barnes & Noble cover is so beautiful. It looks like a painting. The other 2 books I got were on the buy one get one 50% off table. I felt like I needed to take advantage of it, especially when I saw this one, because this is on my 2025 TBR, and I feel like every time I think about picking it up, I'm like, oh, I'll pick it up later. I've got all year. Like, it's on my yearly TBR. I'll get to it eventually, and seeing it on the buy one get one 50% off table was like, yeah, this is the perfect moment. I've seen so many people compare this to Sally Rooney's writing, and this literally says, with shades of Sally Rooney, this is a lyrical, tender love story. And yeah, I feel like I would really enjoy that. I think this is more of an emotional one. But the other thing that I got from the table is The Island of Sea Woman by Lisa C. And honestly, I saw a couple other books that I'm kind of interested in, like, I think it's called Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I was kind of interested in that, but also I know that's something I'm not gonna read until fall, so I wasn't gonna get it now. And then there was, I'm trying to think, what else was there? There was one other book that I was thinking, oh, Assistant to the Villain. It's the start of a series. Vicious is also the start of a series, but yeah, I didn't want to start any series or anything, and this looks like something I could enjoy in the summer. It's historical fiction. This quote says, Lisa C's mesmerizing new historical novel celebrates women's strengths and the strength of their friendships. The story takes readers on a journey spanning generations as moments of cherished friendship, unspeakable tragedy, and in the end, a plot twist worthy of Raymond Chandler unfold. I don't know who Raymond Chandler is, but that sounds good nonetheless. These three books just scream summer reads to me, although this one is not going to be light, fun, and fluffy. I think it's going to be devastating, but still, I think it'll be good to read in the summer. And one thing I'm trying to do this summer, well, one, I'm trying to not start my summer reads too early, because I feel like last year I just got so tired of them. And then also I'm trying to not read just all romance, so I think this will be good to throw in there too. This one is actually great for reading right now because it kind of talks about spring and Easter, but it also talks about summer. So yeah, these are the three books that I got when I went bookstore browsing, when I went to just go look. But anyway, My Friends by Frederick Backman, this book is about a really famous painting, and this girl Louisa, she is obsessed with this painting, and we kind of learn about the painting through her eyes, and we also learn about the artist. We learn his story, and you just kind of get parallels of Louisa, the main character, her life currently and his life back in the day, because obviously he's older than her now, a lot older than her. And so even though they're in such different stages of life, you kind of just see the parallels of things that they feel or things that they've been through. So far, that's what I've been getting, and I don't know where the story's gonna take us. I'm only on page 105, and I just love the writing so much, and I feel like the way that Frederick Backman discusses friendship is just so intense, but like in such an amazing way. I can never get over it. The artist of the painting kind of reminds me of Jude from A Little Life. Nowhere near as sad. Some sad stuff going on, but he reminds me of Jude in the way that he is loved, and no matter how much his friends try to express that, he will never, it's not that he won't believe he's loved, but his self-esteem is just so low, and he will never believe the nice things that they have to say about him or the positive things. And it's just like he was constantly drowning in his own trauma, and I kind of feel that from the artist here. But he definitely doesn't have as much trauma as Jude from A Little Life. He doesn't have as intense things going on. But anyway, I'm going to continue this and definitely keep you updated on my thoughts, because just, and if there's anything that I want to read to you, any annotations that's not going to spoil anything, I will, because his writing is just the thing that pulls you in and keeps you hooked. Doesn't even have to be the story itself, it's the way that he writes. Okay, so I have all of the books that I read in April right here. I feel like I have some good ones, some not so good ones. It was kind of a mixed bag, but I just feel like I was so distracted throughout April. I feel like I don't even remember reading some of these. Like, the first ones feel like so long ago, but still some bangers in here. The first book that I read in April is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I feel like this book is so half and half. Like, I see some people absolutely hate it and I see some people absolutely love it. And I feel like even though I loved it and I gave it 4.5 stars, I understand the people that hated it because this book is just so sad and I didn't expect that. Well, I kind of did expect it when it comes to the female main character. Her name is Samantha, because I knew that her mother had dementia and I knew that that part of it was going to get emotional. But the male main character also has such an intense and emotionally draining story too. Basically, this book is about these two people who meet at the vet's office because Xavier, I keep forgetting his name. Xavier is a vet and they meet there. They don't get off on the right foot at first, but then she has to come back with her cat, the stray cat that she found, that she brought in. And in that moment, he just asked her, do you want to go on a date? And I feel like that was such, for a romance book, it felt crazy. Like, it's so normal. Do you want to go on a date? That's how normal people do it, right? But it just felt crazy for a romance book. Usually they're just spending a lot of time together and they realize, oh, we're in love, so now we get married. But it was just normal, do you want to go on a date? Out of nowhere. I was like, wow, okay. We went on this date and it's this amazing magical date. They're both like so obsessed with each other. It's very, very, very insta love. So if that's not your thing, you'll probably hate this. It's not, I don't hate it, I don't love it, it's not my favorite. It didn't bother me that much, and I thought that it was very sweet because of the things that they've been through in life, both of them. And also, as I said, Samantha's mother has dementia, and I feel like a part of the whole message was just that, like, life is kind of too short. If you have these feelings for someone right away, like if you happen to feel that way, even though it's not normal to be so intense right away, it's like, well, I feel this way, I have to say it because I have this mother that I'm going home to see that doesn't even remember who I am. So I just saw it in that way, and I think it added overall to the story. And it's just a sad book. This is probably the saddest romance book I've ever read. And I think one of the things I really loved about it too is how much emphasis there was on like living parallel lives with the people that you love. There were great messages within, and they had good moments, and I loved the way that Xavier stepped up. And there was also something that we learned about Xavier's past that I really enjoyed. It was such a wholesome moment that, I don't know, I was tearing up a little bit. Like, that was a good wholesome moment. That was happy tears. But other than that, there's probably gonna be a lot of sad tears when you're reading this book. And so yeah, it's something that I completely understand people not liking. And the way that animals are talked about in this book, because he's a vet, he's seen a lot, it's quite jarring. The one thing that didn't make this 5 stars for me is all of the slang, all of the TikTok talk. Basically, Abby Jimenez said that Xavier looks like Rhysand? That's how you say it? I don't know, from Avatar, like 500 times in this book, and just a bunch of other things. But the thing is, some of the things I've actually found quite funny, like some of the little internet stuff in here, I was actually laughing. But the one about Rhysand, like, we get it. He looks like that, whatever that even looks like, because Rhysand's not a real person. I just always feel like books like this that have so much internet slang that's like very specific to our time, they're not going to age well. I am not going to reread this in 3 years and enjoy that. Like, and I know that already. I'm probably never going to reread this because of that. It's one of those things that I know if I reread this in 5 years, I'm going to absolutely cringe. Like, I'm laughing now and I think it's funny now, but I don't know why authors keep doing this to themselves and to their own books. Your book is not gonna age well. It's like if you see YOLO, I mean, YOLO is not even that bad, but if you see YOLO in a book today, it's gonna feel like it's just an old, you know? Like, do people still say that? And then you have to realize, like, oh, this is a book from way back then. People did say that. Abby Jimenez is going to suffer from that in the future, so. But for now, I did enjoy it. I did laugh at the moments that were funny, but a lot of it was really sad. And another thing that I want to add, I feel like a lot of people complain about how Xavier was the one making the most sacrifices and then Samantha was just like there. And I think if I knew I was moving back home to take care of my mother with dementia, and I told you that, and I told you to forget about me, and I told you this can't work from the beginning, like, what sacrifices did you guys expect her to make? Like, I understand they couldn't stay away from each other, they kept texting, they realized they're in love, but I don't know, I personally just saw it as the way that she was put in a position where she could not even make those sacrifices if she wanted to. So that's how I feel about it. I did enjoy it. 4.5 stars. The next book, this is not the next book that I read. The next book that I read is The Conditions of Will. I don't have it here with me, so I just put any Jessa Hastings book here to remind me. The Conditions of Will is the next book that I read. So basically, The Conditions of Will is about a girl named Georgia, and she is oh my god, I forgot what she does. She reads people's like facial expressions, and she can tell when people are lying, and it's like, oh, he smirked and this, it means this and that, and he's like shaking a little bit. She does these little things where she just looks at you and she knows exactly what you're thinking, what you're feeling, if you're lying, and all of that. So whatever that is, I'm gonna put the name of it on the screen because I completely forgot the name of it. But that's what she does in her career, and she has a family from Hilton Head, South Carolina. Basically, within this family, there's this rich family with 4 kids. 2 of them, Georgia and her brother Oliver, they're like the outcasts of the family. Oliver is an outcast because he's gay, and then Georgia's an outcast because of something that we learn within the book that I'm not going to spoil for you. And then the 2 other kids are like the golden children, the perfect ones. They've just stayed there in Hilton Head. Georgia's in London, living her life. Oliver's in LA. And Oliver is also an alcoholic. So basically they go back to Hilton Head, South Carolina, because their dad dies, and Oliver brings his sponsor with him, and Georgia starts to have feelings for this sponsor, but the problem is that Oliver also has feelings for his own sponsor, and it's inappropriate, it's problematic, it's messy, which is what we love about Jessa Hastings. And then there's just also a lot of confusion about the will. Everything is just kind of messy with that too, and they're trying to figure that out, like why he left this person this, and like what does any of this mean. So yeah, that's what that is about, and I love this book so much. It's actually my favorite book of the year so far. I mean, I haven't read much after that, but nothing has topped it before, after. It's my favorite book of the year. Jessa Hastings, the way that she writes, I feel like it's not for everyone. And if you don't like the way that she writes, I don't think you can ever get into her stories. Also, if you don't like a messy story, don't read any Jessa Hastings book. Actually, I've never read Never. I don't know anything about that. But anything in the Magnolia Park series, this book, Conditions of Will, if you don't like a messy story, just don't read it. Don't pick it up. I just don't like when people rate a book low when the book served exactly what it said it was going to serve. It's like walking into a pizza shop, you get served a pizza and you're pissed off. Like, what do you expect? Anyway, Jessa Hastings is definitely not for everyone. And honestly, when I started out reading Magnolia Parks, I bought the entire series because I was ordering it from like a website that isn't in the US. So I was like, I might as well just order them all at once. And when I was reading like the first couple of chapters of Magnolia Parks, I wasn't into it at all. I was like, oh no, this is not looking good. I don't know how I feel about this, right? Like, why does she write like that? And then at around like the 5th chapter, I was so into it. For the rest of the week, none of my friends, family could reach me because I was just so into her writing. And I feel like it's either something you love or you hate. And if you hate it, there's really no way to enjoy the story. She has these like really long run-on sentences, but they say so much and they mean so much to me, okay? I completely understand why people don't like it though. At first I was even like, what? But yeah, I'm obsessed with it now. I'm obsessed with her writing. I loved this story. Georgia has become my favorite Jessa Hastings' girl. Everyone's like Magnolia or Daisy. No, Georgia. And Sam Penny, I've seen people compare Sam Penny to BJ, and like, don't, like, no. He's nothing like BJ. Don't insult Sam Penny like that. Anyway, it's a really good book. I love it. Probably won't shut up about it all year. This one was also insta-love. I don't know what's up with everyone and insta-love this year. It's the trope of the year, apparently. But the way that Jessa Hastings does it, you just, either you get it or you don't, and I think she does it best. She writes very bingeable books because the way that she writes also just feels like a movie in my head. I don't feel like I'm reading, I feel I'm watching a movie, and it's just so easy for me to digest. I don't know, something about her writing just does something for my brain, and I understand that it's not for everyone, but I would definitely recommend this one. It's a standalone, it's a one and done. You don't have to get into this whole long series. You don't have to meet BJ because ew. So yeah, read The Conditions of Will. I rated this 5 stars. Best book of the year. So the next 3 books that I read were in my spring vlog. Like, I was trying to find some spring reads, and I go way more into detail in that vlog, and I'm not gonna do too much in this one. This is In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. You see, this is the thing about books like this. Actually, not this one. I liked this one. But books like these, they're so forgettable. I'm sitting here like, what happened in this? Especially this one, nothing much happened in this one, but surprisingly, I liked this one more than this one. More happens in this one. This book is a continuation of the Love Like Farm series, and the Love Like Farm's book is about a social media influencer going to this town to rate the Christmas tree farm and like give it a good review, or for this competition. She's trying to win a competition so that her Christmas tree farm can get exposure from a social media influencer. But then the social media influencer ends up falling in love with the town, and she's the main character of this book. It turns out she had a one-night stand with one of the people in this town. That like becomes the whole thing. She loves this town, she wants to stay, but then there's this guy who she had a one-night stand with, and it was like, oh, that's awkward, whatever. Nothing much really happens. This is one of those books that's like kind of Gilmore Girls-esque, where they have town meetings and everyone in the town is nosy, everyone knows everyone's business, and I do enjoy those. It's like this small town, it's very cozy, and I think it has a place in my heart, but maybe I didn't read it at the right time, and I didn't care that much, but there were moments that I liked of it. I rated it 3 stars. I think it's a good book, I just read it at the wrong time. And then Love and Bloom is about, what was her name? Emma. Emma inherited a farm from her grandparents who just died, and she was immediately gonna sell it, but then her life back home in Atlanta started just blowing up. It became a mess. She got fired, she lost her boyfriend, so she was like, why am I even here? She goes to the farm and she kind of just stays there and starts hanging out with this guy. She also learns something very important about the farm that I thought was so random. I don't know, like I guess it's a good plot twist, because I was shocked, but it just felt kind of silly. It felt random. I don't know. I don't know. She learned something about the farm, and she's like going through this decision of, should I sell it? Should I not? Whatever. Another small town where everyone knows each other, that's quite wholesome. I don't know. I just didn't really care. This one I rated 2 stars. The last book that I read in that vlog is Ready or Not by Cara Stone, and this one I actually really loved. I rated it 4 stars. This book is about a girl who gets pregnant from a one-night stand, and yeah, accidental pregnancy. Her best friend and her best friend's brother are people who have been in her life for so long, and they're kind of the ones supporting her, helping her, but there is a bit of tension with her and her best friend, which is something that you should go in and read about yourself. And then the best friend's brother like steps up and is always there for her, and they end up falling in love. They end up being in a relationship. I remember Eden, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but I'm gonna put her thing on the screen. She once described this book and said it's about a girl who kind of ends up with 2 baby daddies. And I didn't understand what she meant until I read it, and that is like such a good way to describe this, because I feel like this book was so realistic to like how the actual father reacted, and then how the man who's stepping up, it reacts. Like everyone, it felt so real, and it was very enjoyable. I liked everyone. I loved the Brooklyn setting. I don't know, I was just having such a good time reading this, and Shep is so sweet. He is just a darling. So yeah, this is probably the first book that's completely centered around the pregnancy trope that I truly love. I didn't love Out on a Limb, and that's the only other one I've read. This one, I loved it, and maybe I'll read more of the pregnancy trope and stop being terrified of pregnancy. The next book I read on my Kindle is The Air He Breathes by Brittany Cherry, and this book that I've had on my Kindle for so long, don't even know why I picked it up, just randomly picked it up and was hooked. I was immediately hooked. It's about this guy named Travis who is in this small town, and everyone's like, oh, stay away from him, he's a horrible person, he's an animal. They talked so badly about this man, and he has been through a lot in his own life, and it caused him to be the way that he is. But the female main character of this book, she's just such a nice and open person. Well, first of all, she meets this man in such a crazy way, and then she feels bad about like how they met, and she feels the need to make up for it and be kind to him and not just be a horrible person like everyone else in the town and isolate him. So yeah, they spend a lot of time together because of this, and everyone's still like, no, you gotta stay away from him, he's horrible, blah blah blah. And yeah, she just doesn't see it that way. She could see the good in him. But a lot goes, what I'm saying is not even a quarter of what goes out in this book, and it's so funny to me that this book is so short and so much happens. It's like soap opera. It's like a Lifetime movie, but in a good way. I don't mean that as an insult at all. I was hooked. I was absolutely hooked reading it, and yeah, it was fun. I read this at a time where I was moving, and I was not focusing on any books. It was hard to keep my attention, but this one did, so good book, good book. I rated it 4 stars, and I'm excited to read more by Brittany Cherry. It's kind of weird that I look at this, because this is a series, and I don't exactly know, interconnected standalone series, right? But I don't exactly know what makes it connected. Like I think I read the description of the second book, and I'm like, who are these people? Are they in the same town? Are we gonna see the first couple? If we don't see the first couple, it's not interconnected. It's just books, like books by the same author. But yeah, this one 4 stars, and we'll be reading more by Brittany Cherry. The last book I read, I also don't have with me. I read Great Big Beautiful Life, and I just have Happy Place as a reminder that I read Great Big Beautiful Life. Great Big Beautiful Life. Why do I keep saying the title? I absolutely loved it. I went on like a 10-minute rant about how much I loved it in my last videos, so maybe I shouldn't do too much once again. Here's the thing. This is one of those books, again, it's like you have to know what to expect or else you're gonna hate it. I feel like Funny Story was one of Emily Henry's most romance-heavy books. Maybe Beach Read? I kind of don't remember Book Lovers that much. Like, I used to have Book Lovers as my top book, and I need to reread it because I don't remember much about it, but I think that one too, kind of romance-heavy. My point is, this is just not one of her romance-heavy books. I mean, compared to her past books, I personally feel like everyone everywhere was telling me this book has no romance. This book literally has no romance. And so I went into it thinking, okay, fine, you guys are saying it has no romance, like bring on a literary fiction book for me. I'm cool with that. I like to dabble in literary fiction sometimes. If that's what it is, I could still have a good time because I love Emily Henry's writing. So that's the mindset that I had when I went into it, and I just feel like there was romance everywhere. Like, what are you guys even talking about? I think that I was listening to people saying that there was no romance, so much so that when it did come, when they had their first kiss, I was like, whoa, where did that come from? Because I was just like, no romance. We're talking about Margaret and we're focused on Margaret's story. But yeah, I have to disagree. I do think, I mean, it's just not the biggest part of the story. and I get that. I was just okay with it, I guess. And I do think the moments that we get between the two main characters, Hayden and Alice, are beautiful. I didn't even say what this book is about. I just started ranting. Basically, Hayden and Alice are competing for the chance to write the biography of a really famous woman named Margaret. She was basically like a socialite. Her family was really famous. Think of like the Kennedys type of family. Her family was like that, like famous in history and just famous in general. And yeah, as the daughter and granddaughter of like these really famous, powerful men in the media, she was always watched. She didn't really do much. Like, it's not like Evelyn Hugo, where Evelyn Hugo was an actress. Like, Margaret was just more of a big name that everyone knew. But that leads me to the other thing. I absolutely loved Margaret's story. Rich people drama, I'm gonna eat it up every time. I loved it so much, and I was so nosy. Like, what happened with who, and who did this to, like, it was so good. I will say that there were moments in time where I'm like, I had to focus really hard. Like, who, this person is this person's aunt, and this person is their cousin, and I was just like, it was getting a little complicated. And Alice even said that she like made a joke when she was doing this interview. You should have a family tree at the beginning of the book. Maybe Emily Henry should have taken that joke and actually put a family tree at the beginning of this book, because yeah, definitely that part is a little, but still, once you get it and see all the connections, gagged me. Like, I don't even know what to say. I absolutely loved Margaret's story. If you don't care, I don't think there's any way for you to like this book. Like, seriously, Margaret's story is the book. But one thing that I absolutely loved about it too is that even though romance didn't show up in its typical form a lot in this book, there was so much love within this story. Like, this woman is talking about generations of her family, going back to like her great grandfather and how he met her great grandmother, and there's love there, or whatever kind of love. Different types of love show up in this story. It's not going to be the typical thing that we're all used to, and it was also a different time. But she talks about that. She talks about her grandparents, her own parents, her own love story, and then even Alice kind of discusses her love story with her mother and her father. And there's just love that shows up everywhere in this book, and it's just such a bigger message type thing, that love is in so many different forms. And yeah, I don't know, I just really really had a good time reading this one. I was reading it out by the pool every day. Like, I was going out to the pool, and that was all I looked forward to, reading my book in the sun. The setting was absolutely perfect. I think if I read this book in New York while it was still winter, probably wouldn't have loved it as much. Like, the vibes were just high when I was reading it. And I love Emily Henry's writing, as I've already said. There were so many things that I underlined, annotated, so many moments that I loved the ending. As for the comparisons to The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, yeah, it's like the same concept, interviewing and finding out things, the big reveal, whatever. But I just couldn't possibly really compare it because of how different Evelyn's story was from Margaret's, and just how different they are as people, how different their upbringings are. Like, it's just so far apart. The comparison is truly about the concept and not the two icons, if that makes sense. But yeah, if you're into that, some rich people drama, I think you'll really like it. If you've read it, The Hug, how can people say that there's no romance? And Emily Henry's writing, she's describing a hug in such a sensual way. Like, a hug? How did she even... Anyway, 5 stars, obviously. Emily Henry, I love you. I'm so sorry for the people who waited all year for this and ended up hating it. I feel bad because I can't imagine. I think I would crash out a little bit. I did see some people crashing out, and I'm like, you know what, valid. You waited all year for this and you don't even like it? I probably would crash out too, but no need, because I love it. Those are the books that I read in April. That's my April reading wrap up. I hope that May has, actually I know that May will have some bangers because of the new releases. Like, it's almost time to go get Can't Get Enough by Kenny Ryan. I'm so excited for that one. I'm still reading My Friends. Is it over here? No. I'm still reading My Friends by Frederick Backman. Still enjoying it. Reading it very slowly because of other things that I'll talk about later. But I feel like this book is making me want to go to the Met. And it's the weekend right now, so I don't want to go to the Met on the weekend. It'll be way too crowded. But I just want to go appreciate some art. Like, the way he talks about art and what it's meant to do for people, and the meaning that it could have. I just want to go appreciate some art and like have it speak to me. Maybe we'll do that on Monday if I'm still reading My Friends. But right now I'm gonna go on a walk, and yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go on a walk. It has nothing to do with this video. I'm about to do my reading journal stuff, and I usually just time-lapse it, but I kind of want to talk today. So basically, my last video was a whole 1 hour and 20-minute moving vlog. That was like a whole movie. And it was me moving to a new state, new city, all of that. But I'm back here in my room. I did say that I was going back in the last video, but basically, my mom already had planned to come to New York for her birthday, and then I like did this whole move and whatnot, and so it was already my intentions to go back, spend her birthday with her. And also I have tickets to see Beyonce. I don't know why this scissors, this one's not working with me. Anyway, I have tickets to see Beyonce at MetLife at the end of the month, and so the plan in my head was just to like come back, see my mom, stay here for like a couple weeks, like 3 weeks or something, go to the Beyonce concert, and then go back home. But I got back here, and for some reason I just got into like the worst life slump, the worst mood ever. I don't even know, like I'm barely leaving my bed if I don't need to. And honestly, I have my moments like this. It's usually when I'm on my period. I'm not. Usually the week after my period is like my best time of life. That's when I'm the most normal. That's when I feel like a normal human being. But for some reason, and it is the week after my period, I just feel so, I don't even know how to describe it. Have barely been leaving my bed unless I really, really need to. Like, I don't even get up to eat, and then I would realize that I haven't eaten all day at like 11 p.m. It's been really bad. And then when I do eat, I'm like craving sweet things. I don't know, I just know that I'm not in a good place. And I don't know why coming back here for such a short time did that to me. I was doing pretty well with sleep, eating. I don't know. I guess maybe I was like kind of getting into a routine there for even though it was only 10 days, I was kind of getting into a routine there, and I guess coming back here just threw it off. But I really had a positive outlook on coming back here. I thought this was my last like 3 weeks, last almost month in New York. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna go do all the things that I love to do, because leaving New York, even though I know it was the right thing to do for me personally, I am gonna miss so much about it, and I love a lot about New York, and so I thought this was like my last chance to take it all in and really appreciate it. And I don't know, I came back and I was just in my room doing absolutely nothing. I literally don't know. But my point of all of that is that Yesterday was Saturday, and I literally booked a last minute ticket for Tuesday. That was like the cheapest one, and the closest one that was a reasonable price. So I'm going back on Tuesday. Even this video, this like doing book stuff video, I do them every month. I think they're really fun, and usually they take me like 3 days to film. I've been filming this video for I think 2 weeks. Okay, no, it hasn't been 2 weeks. It's been like 8 days. Dramatic, but still 8 days, and I'm still not done filming it, obviously. But it's just, I don't know why I've been so unmotivated to literally even stand up. I need to tell you guys about my flight back from Charleston to New York. Basically, I was in no rush to come back. Obviously, like, it was just a random day that I chose to come back. Like, my mom wasn't even in New York yet. So Delta overbooked the flight, and they were like, we need 2 volunteers, blah blah blah. We're gonna give you guys a $600 gift card. If you don't know, those like Visa gift cards, well, it's a bunch of different things you can choose from. You could literally do $600 at Sephora, $600 at Amazon, or you could just do a $600 Visa card, which you can spend on literally anything, like when you're online shopping and stuff. And I think you can even add it to your Apple Wallet thing to do in-person purchases, literally on anything. I'm like, $600 when I just moved? That sounds pretty solid. And the only thing that was gonna change, it's not even like I had to go home or anything. The only thing that was gonna change was that I was gonna be on the flight like an hour and 20 minutes later. Or was it just an hour? I was originally taking off at 1 p.m. and then the next flight was meant to take off at like 2:10, I think, something like that. And so I was like, I have nothing to lose. Honestly, even if you told me you're putting me on a flight tomorrow, I would be okay with that too. Like, I would just go home. The Uber was like $28. You're giving me $600. Like, that's still a win for me. And so I volunteered, and they were like, okay, yeah, but we're putting you on this flight, 2 p.m., whatever, whatnot. And so I'm just sitting back there reading my book, and I see the last person who is meant to board this flight, who actually wants to be on the flight, who did not volunteer, because I was the only person that volunteered and they needed 2 volunteers. They literally just pull her aside and was like, hey, like, she's literally walking up ready to scan her ticket and everything. They're closing the door on her, and she's like, and they're like, hey, sorry about this, we overbooked, so we're putting you on this flight, but we're giving you this voucher, blah blah blah. And she's upset about it, as she should be. Like, you pay for a flight and they're just closing the doors on you. And this is why I feel like on social media I see all the time people are like, oh, I don't get why people stand up when it's time to board and it's not even your turn to board yet. You're standing there, you look goofy, whatever. But whatever. Here's the thing. I could be in zone 8. I could be boarding in zone 8, group 8, whatever you call it. And I'm gonna stand up as soon, like, actually, when I see 7 is like trickling down, I'm gonna stand up, because the reality is the first people in zone 8, they got on that plane. The last person, her, in zone 8, she didn't get on a plane. And that can be really messed up if you're in a foreign country, if you're in a state that you don't live in. Like, that's $600. And I mean, she's lucky because she just got on the next plane. But if it was a case where she had to stay there overnight, that $600 would be gone. The hotel and like the Ubers back and whatever taxis, whatever she takes, it would have been completely like gone. Like, it wouldn't even have been a reward or a treat or whatever, or an extra $600 in her pocket or whatever. And she didn't even seem to care about $600. She was actually furious. So all I'm saying, I've seen it for myself, lesson learned. You guys, when it's time to board, go stand up. Go board first. Like, don't listen to people who are like, you look goofy standing up when it's not even your time to board. No, go board that damn plane, because you never know what's gonna happen. Also, if there's like 10 people in zone 8 and they only have 5 overhead spaces left, and you're the 2nd or 3rd person in zone 8, you're solid. If you're the 8th person in zone 8, like, it's done. I will never understand. I will never understand it. Anyway, that was like, I always knew that, and just seeing it, witnessing it for myself, I'm like, this is why I'm goofy and I stand up there, even though it's not my I just make sure I'm not in anyone's way, make sure I'm not in anyone's space or anything like that. And yeah, I go stand on the side and wait and do it right away. I feel like I printed these like real extra small this time. Anyway, that was just a lesson learned that I'm sharing. Another thing about that flight that I voluntarily went on, the second one, it was delayed a lot. It was delayed so much. Like, I think we were supposed to take off at 2:10, as I said. We took off at like after 5 p.m. We got on the plane, everyone's seated and everything, and they're like, sorry guys, we have to deplane. Something's wrong with the something, I don't even know. And I was just like, oh no, I know, they said it was gonna be 5 minutes. I'm like, I know better. It's definitely not gonna be 5 minutes. The woman who didn't have a choice but to go on the next flight, she was so furious because basically our original flight that took off at 1 p.m. landed before we even got onto the plane to sit down and actually like take off. That original flight was already there. That's something we were talking about when we were in the waiting area. We were at the gate waiting. She was like, our original flight is literally already there. It literally already landed and we're still here waiting. We don't even know when we're taking off. We don't even know when we're gonna get to board again. And she was absolutely furious. I was fine because I volunteered. As I said, I was actually willing to go back home. If you're telling me that I needed to come back tomorrow, I honestly would have been fine with that. But I didn't need to come back the next day. It was just really delayed, 5 p.m. What I don't like about that though is that I got into New York. Oh, well, two things I didn't like about it is that I got into LGA instead of JFK. LaGuardia is a little bit further away, and then so it made the Uber a little bit more expensive, but then also I feel like I got here at a time that was kind of like rush hour. Again, made it a little bit more expensive, but not $600 expensive. Oh, another thing about that is that I actually got $700, not $600, because I guess the lady, because she was furious, they offered her $700, and the man there was like, well, I'm just gonna give you the $700 too, even though I volunteered for the $600. So that was kind of him, I guess. I genuinely didn't care. Honestly, $700 when you're in the middle of a move for waiting a couple hours, and I was good. I was literally reading my book. I was completely fine. It's a comfortable airport. I ate Chick-fil-A. Haven't had Chick-fil-A in so long because I think it's bad in New York. But we have Raising Cane's. Raising Cane's is so good here, so yeah, that's my airport story. And I'm going home on Tuesday. Literally, today's Sunday, going home on Tuesday. So that should be great. It's like raining all week in Charleston, so that's not great, but I'm happy to at least go back to a place that's really quiet. It's been crazy since I've been here. The lady across from me, she is always screaming at her kids, and her kids are always screaming too, but like not always like angry or sad screaming. They're happy screaming too. They scream for literally everything. And I feel like there has been discourse about how people complain about babies and children screaming in like airports and airplanes and parks and stuff like that, whatever. And the discourse is that they're human beings, they have a right to exist in these public spaces, which they do. But when I'm literally sitting in my room and all I'm hearing is my neighbor's children screaming at 3 a.m. for hours, I just don't think I deserve that. I think I have a right to not hear that. I don't have any kids. I'm young and I don't want any right now. I don't know if I'll ever want any. So why am I still living? Why is it still like I'm living with screaming kids and I can't even contribute? Like maybe if I played with you or something, you wouldn't be screaming, or I don't even know. I don't know what goes on in that apartment. But I literally can't stand living across from her. But also last night, and this is something that like encouraged me to book my ticket, they were having a party and it went all the way up until like 2:30 a.m. and I took that time because I couldn't sleep. It was really loud, I couldn't sleep, so I took that time to pack my stuff. Literally done packing. Booked the flight last night. I'm done packing. I'm ready to go. Ready to get out of here. I re-downloaded TikTok while I was in my state, whatever state I was in, and that's how I know I'm not doing well. Like, literally haven't been on TikTok most of 2024. I re-downloaded it and I was mindlessly scrolling, and I saw a lot of videos about actual native New Yorkers talking about transplants and what they dislike about transplants and whatnot. And the discourse is very interesting. And it's funny because I'm basically a transplant anywhere I go in America. I was born here in New York, but I never lived here. My mom literally just had me, and then we went home. I have dual citizenship. I grew up in Antigua. I'm a citizen there, and I just came here after 18 years. Well, I went to Florida after 18 years for university, and then I decided to move here after university, and I lived here for 2 years. And so, yeah, I'm a transplant here. Even though my passport says that I was born here, my birth certificate and all of that says that I was born here, I still definitely feel like a transplant. I'm gonna be a transplant everywhere in the US. But what was I gonna say? The discourse has been interesting, and I was gonna say something very specific about the discourse before I started yapping on about my entire life story. I'm pretty sure I stopped talking like mid-sentence, but the updates that I did to my reading journal, my favorite for the month was The Conditions of Will. I filled in my little library. Finally have some pink going on, some 5-star reads. More 4-star reads, 3-star, 2 stars. Is this my first 2-star? Like that green? I don't know. The 2025 TBR, we're getting through that very nicely. I feel like this is the first time. Is this the first? No. Heartless Hunter. This is the second time I actually have 5-star reads from this, and I expected all of this to just be 5-star reads. But yeah, we ticked off Great Big Beautiful Life, The Conditions of Will, Say You'll Remember Me, and In the Weeds. So we're getting through that. And then more new releases are on here in May that I know I'm gonna read. So my April spread is just a printed out photo of the word April because I was too lazy to draw anything today. And then my April like scrapbook type journal thing, junk journal things, just a couple things that I did in April. It just kind of shows what went on. My move, spring, some cute bits. Anyway, journal is done. I think I'm ending this video here. Thank you so much for watching. If you got to this point of the video, comment a sun emoji because I'm ready for summer and I'm ready for more sunny days. And also let me know what new release you're excited for, what you're looking forward to, if you've read the April new releases and how you feel about them. Yeah, comment anything you want actually. Like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!